Hello everybody and welcome back to Dollar Tree Dinners. As I mentioned in my last video, I am testing out a new schedule where I'm going to be uploading a video every weekday, Monday through Friday, and each day has its own theme. Today is Fake Out Friday, where we recreate restaurant foods at home. Currently I'm working my way through the Taco Bell menu. In my last video, we covered the enchilada, the beefy crunch burrito, and the loaded potato griller. And I asked you guys for suggestions on what you wanted to see next, and the overwhelming response was the Mexi Melt and the 7-layer burrito, which both of those surprised me because as somebody who worked for Taco Bell for 2 years, I feel like both of those items were ordered at most once or twice a week, but they're both fantastic recipes and really easy to recreate at home. So also in my last video, we covered some Taco Bell ingredients and how to make them at home. Particularly we did taco meat, we did refried beans, sort of, really just watered down canned refried beans. I talked about what I use for Spanish rice, what I use for the Taco Bell nacho cheese. Oh, and I showed you how to make the Taco Bell crispy potatoes. So I'm not gonna cover any of those ingredients again today. I'm not gonna be redundant. We're gonna hop right into the Mexi Melt. And the Mexi Melt itself is only a couple of ingredients, but there are some things that you need to know about those ingredients in order to replicate the flavors and textures at home. As I mentioned in my last video, we talked about taco meat particularly, and we covered how to get this really fine taco meat texture. But as you can see, you get this really ultra fine texture, very similar to Taco Bell's meat. Ingredient number 2 is what Taco Bell used to call Fiesta salsa, and now I believe they just call it pico de gallo. In my days of working at Taco Bell, I was mostly a closer, but I did do some opening shifts, and Fiesta salsa was always made at the beginning of the day, and most of the ingredients came pre-prepared to the store. So our diced tomatoes came in a bin, our diced onions came in a bag. The only thing I ever did that was kind of sort of cooking at Taco Bell was chopping bundles of cilantro to make the Fiesta salsa. So we mixed together the diced tomatoes, the diced onions, and the chopped cilantro, and then we would add a dressing packet to it. So it's not really a true pico de gallo, like a fresh pico de gallo. If you want to reference my Chipotle bowls at home video, I do show how to make a fresh pico de gallo in that video. So I'm going to be using some pre-made pico de gallo from the grocery store. However, one thing that I want to point out is when you are shopping for a pico de gallo, if possible, try to find one that's made with yellow onions instead of red onions, because that is more similar to the kind served at Taco Bell. And again, we used a dressing packet when we made our pico de gallo. I don't know how they do it today, but I do also feel like store-bought pico de gallo mimics that Taco Bell texture a little bit more because it's a little bit more wet than homemade stuff. And the other component of the Taco Bell Mexi Melt is their 3-cheese blend. The 3 cheeses that are in that 3-cheese blend are cheddar, mozzarella, and Monterey Jack. Most of your packaged Mexican or taco blend cheeses do not encompass those 3 ingredients specifically. So if you're trying to replicate Taco Bell as closely as possible, I would recommend buying those 3 cheeses and mixing them together. In my case, I very commonly keep this pizza blend cheese on hand. This is cheddar and mozzarella cheese, and I like to use it in a variety of dishes, Mexican, Italian, pizzas, anything like that. I think it's very versatile. So I'm just going to add some Monterey Jack to it to turn this into a 3-cheese blend. So in order to keep the proportions fairly accurate, I'm gonna mix together a couple of handfuls of my pizza blend cheese. And we're gonna do this 2-to-1 with Monterey Jack. So about 1 handful of Monterey Jack or so, give or take. And yes, Taco Bell cheese does come pre-shredded to the store, so buying pre-shredded cheese is fairly accurate. So there are your 3 ingredients to make the Taco Bell Mexi Melt: taco meat, pico de gallo, and 3-cheese blend. Let's warm up a flour tortilla on a skillet for about 5 to 10 seconds per side. We're gonna do a line of taco meat down the center. Taco Bell had a really nifty scoop that made this line for you. It's literally a scoop shaped like that. Now you're gonna add on a scoop of your pico de gallo or Fiesta salsa, and then a scoop of our 3-cheese blend. From here, this is probably the hardest part to recreating this at home, because from here this would go in a steamer, but you know, our regular everyday kitchens don't have a steamer. We do have a microwave, but I kind of want to try something with the skillet that I've already preheated. So I'm gonna pop my little Mexi Melt into the skillet, add a splash of water, and immediately cover it up with a lid. And see if that's enough to melt that cheese. So my goal was to melt the cheese on top without making the tortilla too crispy on the outside. I did get a little bit of browning with that method. But in a nutshell, that is how to make the Taco Bell Mexi Melt at home. If you want to get a little extra with this, you can buy these little pre-cut parchment paper sheets on Amazon or what have you, and you can wrap it up like a Mexi Melt. We're gonna try another steaming method as well, similar to how I made the enchilada in my last video. So I warmed up a flour tortilla on the stove. We're gonna add our line of ground beef or taco meat with a scoop of our pico de gallo or fiesta salsa. And then we're gonna add a sprinkle of our 3 cheese blend. And then just like the enchilada, I'm gonna cover it up and steam it in the microwave for about 20 to 25 seconds. So this is our Mexi Melt number 2 out of the microwave. And as you can see, that did start to melt the cheese. You don't want to microwave these too long or else you risk the tortilla getting really like stiff and gummy. But there should be enough residual heat that if you were to wrap it up in, say, a sheet of parchment paper, that the rest of the cheese would melt. Try to replicate the entire experience, including wrapping them in paper. Because when you get something from Taco Bell, whether you're eating it in the store or going through the drive-thru, this is how it comes to you. And this actually does a good bit because it keeps it warm. It helps to kind of steam those ingredients and really set them together. This is our Taco Bell Mexi Melt at home. So this is the version that I steamed in the microwave, so it's nice and soft. And then this is the version I steamed on the skillet, so that one ended up slightly grilled. Regardless, let's give this a taste and see how accurate it is. I think I put too much taco meat on that. They both taste like a Mexi Melt, but I think I put a little bit too much taco meat on both of them, so the ratios are just slightly off. I would do a little bit less meat and maybe a little bit more pico de gallo to really replicate the Mexi Melt ratios. I think I was a little heavy-handed. Taco Bell's not that heavy-handed with their meat. And secondly, we're gonna recreate the Taco Bell 7-layer burrito. Now I do have a disclaimer with this one. I never ate the 7-layer burrito when I worked there because back when I worked there, I had not yet found a love for guacamole. And there was something about the 7-layer burrito that kind of intimidated me, so I never even tried it. But that doesn't mean that we can't recreate it at home. So this will be my first time trying the 7-layer burrito. I did not try it when I worked at Taco Bell. So what are the 7 layers in the 7-layer burrito? They are Spanish rice, refried beans, sour cream, guacamole, finely shredded iceberg lettuce. If you want the exact same kind of texture that is Taco Bell's, you might want to buy the pre-shredded lettuce at the store. Our 3 cheese blend and diced Roma tomatoes, or if you're feeling spicy, swap the tomatoes for the fiesta salsa, aka the pico de gallo. And there you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's talk about the guacamole for a second. I'm gonna reference that same Chipotle bowls at home video. If you want to make the guacamole from scratch, I have a fabulous recipe in that video. However, I now live in an area where it is more expensive to buy avocados than it is to just buy guacamole. So I got some pre-packaged guacamole. When I worked at Taco Bell, both our sour cream and our guacamole came in a tube. We had like a caulk style gun with a trigger. We would load in the tube and we would pull the trigger. So trigger of sour cream, trigger of guacamole. Now I believe they make it fresh in-house, like they get avocado puree and they add stuff to it. But when I worked there, the guacamole was pre-prepared before it came to the store. So this is the guacamole that I picked out. This is the Yo Quiero Mexico inspired guacamole, and I picked this one because it was like $3. And the ingredients are just avocados, tomato, onion, cilantro, lime juice, salt, serrano pepper, and vinegar. So this is fairly accurate to how I would have made it if I had made it from scratch myself. To assemble our 7-layer burrito, start with a warmed up burrito size tortilla. Now listen, here's my real flex. I have an actual Taco Bell rice and bean scoop. That is what this is meant for. I did not take it. Somebody else took it and gave it to me. A scoop of rice, a scoop of beans, a pump of sour cream, a pump of guacamole, a pinch of lettuce, a pinch of 3 cheese blend. And then I'm actually gonna do the fiesta salsa because when I worked at Taco Bell, I would commonly substitute the tomatoes for a fiesta salsa. I just thought it had a better flavor. And we're gonna do our Taco Bell wrap, same fold that I showed in my last video. And we're gonna wrap it up. You guys ready to see the inside of this 7-layer burrito? Yes, I'm just gonna cut through the paper. And there she is. So I did forget to mention the beans and the rice are hot prior to assembling this. I did mention heating up the tortilla. Everything else is cold when it goes in there. So let's try the 7-layer burrito for the first time. Seven-layer burrito is a success. I don't know how I would have felt about it when I was 20, but you know, I'm 33 now, or I'll be 33 in July. But I like it now. I love 7-layer dip and stuff now. Like, I've really expanded my palette a lot from back then. That is how to make the Taco Bell Mexi Melt as best as we can without the proper equipment, and how to make the Taco Bell 7-layer burrito. I have had a couple of people try some of the recipes in my last video and they loved them. They said they tasted like Taco Bell. So if you like the Mexi Melt or you like the 7-layer burrito and you do try what I shared in this video, of course, let me know how you felt about it in the comments below. A couple of fun things that I learned since last week of posting that initial video is that having the ingredients for Taco Bell things in my fridge is a game changer. Over the past week, you know, I would just pull out whatever ingredients I wanted to warm up, the red sauce, the beans, the beef, the nacho cheese. I could make 5-layer burritos. I made nacho supreme. I made, burrito supremes. I was kind of just working my way through the Taco Bell menu on my own, just with the ingredients I had in the fridge. And when we did nacho night, it was particularly fun because Michael was like, "Did you buy taco meat?" And I was like, "No, I made it." He's like, "How is it so fine?" And you know, I had to tell him that I boiled the taco meat in order to get it to that texture, but he even noticed the difference in the taco meat versus how I would usually prepare it. We are adding to our base knowledge of Taco Bell ingredients. I will say that this mild cilantro salsa that I got from Walmart is fairly accurate to the Taco Bell Fiesta salsa, so be on the lookout for something like this. Again, the real thing that you're looking for is yellow onions instead of red. And feel free to use your favorite guacamole for any of the recipes. The only menu item that guacamole came standard on was the 7-layer burrito, up until they had, what was it called? They had some kind of a seasonal item. It was like a loaded nacho dish or something like that. And it came on those because it came with a scoop of sour cream, a scoop of guacamole, and a scoop of pico de gallo. And they had to be like separated. So if you guys remember what that was, be sure to let me know. It was some kind of a loaded nacho dish. That's episode 2 of We've Got Taco Bell at Home. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, we're doing 5 uploads a week. The next one will be on Monday, and we're doing Make Ahead Monday. The focus of that is going to be, you know, meal preps or freezer meals or something to that degree. I haven't really decided what I'm doing for Monday yet. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you again on Monday.